Welcome back to another episode of Who Am I to Judge podcast. I'm Alexis.
And I am Samantha. How are you? We're back.
Yes, we're back. Oh my gosh, my microphone just keeps dropping. I had a long day. I'm very exhausted.
I did as well, actually.
Woke up, obviously had to walk the dog. And I don't know, it's just I had to walk the dog. Then it was immediately, 9 a.m. It starts my work day. I had a meeting right at 9 a.m. And then I just had 4 or 5 meetings today on Zoom, which was annoying. And then they were meetings where it was some of them were onboarding. So I felt they were any questions. So I had to keep thinking of questions. And so I feel I carried some of these meetings. And so I'm just exhausted by that. And then work till 5, then it was walk the dogs, feed the dogs. Then it was okay, now I got to go to my workout class. And then I just got back from my workout class, took a shower at 8, and then sat here. It's I haven't had time to lay. So it's just been a long day. And I just feel my body's a little sore because, finally Julia today tested negative for COVID. Okay. But prior to that, obviously she had COVID. So I've been sleeping on the couch or the air mattress for the past week since we've last talked. Yes. So it's just I am so exhausted because I'm not getting good sleep for the past week. And I'm sore from that. And so it's just
I thought you were going to say you're sore from feeling a little sick, but
no, I'm sore from sleeping badly.
Alexis, I'm sorry. That sucks.
It's awful.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah.
What about you?
I also had a long day. We haven't talked much today because you were a working girl, and I also was at the studio today. But I had a interesting day as well. I was I was woken up by gunshots this morning outside of my window around 8:30 this morning. So that was a interesting start to the morning. And I'm am I crazy? It's 8:30. I know nobody's doing fireworks right now. And I'm just waking up. It's
right, so
I'm am I dreaming? Yes. Yeah. And Jupiter got up quick too. But I actually looked on Nextdoor when I got home because I literally almost forgot that even happened because I was just at work. I was so tired too. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night either. And so, yeah, I was tired at work and I just kind of put that out of my mind. And then when I got back home, I was oh shit, let me go back and look and see if anybody, reported this or anybody else heard it. And I looked on Nextdoor and somebody did write about it. I'm thank God, because I'm I just can say I'm not crazy. And
guns are just so interesting. I know we'll talk about that later, but also just I woke up today. So this morning I told you I was sleeping on the couch and I couldn't sleep. I woke up, I don't know, Mello is recovering from stomach issues. I think I told you this when I was home.
Oh yeah,
she was waking me up in the middle of the night having to poop.
Yeah.
So I've been on alert, but luckily everything's been solid. But Julia thought that she was sniffing around her crate. So I was oh my God. So I sprung up, took her outside. Long story short, she didn't poop, whatever. We come back in the house. I couldn't go to sleep. So I was scrolling through my Facebook. I was randomly on Facebook. And I feel I go on Facebook whenever I want to see what my Milwaukee people are up to because they're all active on Facebook. And so I literally was scrolling and this girl who I I didn't teach her. I taught her brother, but she was at the school when I was teaching there. She was found with a gunshot to her head, with her bra on and some pants in a trail in Tennessee. And I was just this girl that went to a student from MCP.
Oh my God.
And it was so sad. She went to college in Tennessee, so that's why she was in Tennessee. And I was just oh my God.
That is
I don't know.
So
I feel
terrible.
I've just been, I'm telling you, I have every year that I was at MCP, someone died. And every year since I've been outside of MCP, somebody has died, whether it's one of my students or someone that I knew in the building, or even I told you, one of my students is still sitting in juvie a year later, waiting for a trial where he's about to get charged as an adult and like possibly serve life in prison. Like he's doing his 8th grade. He did his 8th grade year in jail this year. And so it's just, I feel like, I don't know, I'm just like very much feeling how real life can get. And so I feel like guns and shit, it's just, it's so sad.
So sad. And it's so sad because, you know, you have obviously shared with me like when crazy stuff has happened with your students, but it's sad that this girl was like at college, you know, like she made it to college and then this happened. So I mean, it's crazy.
I'm so curious when like more comes out about this, because I'm like, you're found with your bra and some pants on with a gunshot to your head, someone found her at like 10 a.m. in front of a trail in Tennessee. And so I'm just like, there's definitely some weird shit going on with that.
Yes, absolutely. And now I'm just like, yeah, it's like, it's just crazy. The person that wrote about this shooting this morning, they were just like, it's sad because we haven't seen it anywhere.
Sorry, Mello keeps like Mello keeps like chewing her foot like it has sugar on it. Girl.
Alexis.
Let me... Julia, can you come and get Mello? Yeah. Thank you. Anyway. Mello's looking at me like pissed. He's looking at me like, why would you do this? She's staring at me. I'm sorry.
Betrayal.
Anyway, but yeah, it's just real. And like, I don't know, these gun situations just wild. And like, I feel like
it's just like nobody reported this. Like, this
it's just normal.
Is literally just like gonna go under the radar. Yeah. Like it was basically a drive-by, like for sure. At 8:30 in the motherfucking morning? Like, what the hell?
This is like common for people. And I feel like I've learned that when I was teaching, like we would constantly have gunshots during dismissal, and they would just look at each other and be like, all right, we're going inside dismissal today. Like it wouldn't be like we're calling the police. We're just like, okay, so parents have to come in today. One time I walked into my classroom in the morning, there was a bullet sitting. It had like came through the window, was sitting where we do our circle time. Like when I'm telling you, for some people, this is an everyday Tuesday. Like it's not even.
But that is just like, I just am like, I don't know. I just gotta stay prayed up because I'm just like, I could have been outside.
You absolutely could have.
8:30 in the morning. Actually, I was supposed to be leaving. The classes got canceled, and I would have been leaving around that time. It's just like, okay. Anyways, so yeah, that was how my morning started, but my day did not go like, you know, I disassociated from that.
You are alive.
Yes. And I was half like, did that even happen? And then I drove to work. Work was, again, I was tired. There's like a kids camp happening at work this week, so it's always nice to be around the kids. They just remind me that, you know,
joy.
Life is good. Yeah, like at least they are happy, you know. So yeah, and then I came home, got Jupiter, ate, and then sat down as well. So here we are.
Here we are. Well, I'm happy to be here with you today. Yeah, let's start. Who is on trial, my friend?
I don't know who's on trial.
I can tell you who's on trial. Let's start.
Okay, you tell me.
Well, we definitely have to talk about this Trump assassination attempt. Like, that is on trial today. Yeah. It's just, I mean, I feel like, okay, well, for those who don't know, let's just give a quick recap. Trump, I believe, was in Pennsylvania this weekend. Yes. When did I tell you this?
This weekend.
This weekend. And a 20-year-old white man that was a conservative, registered Republican from conservative family, whose father gave him a gun, attempted to shoot, which I like had to point out because I'm just like, y'all not going to flip this on the liberals or on the left.
It's y'all people.
This is y'all's people. Attempted to, you know, shoot the president and ended up shooting his
the former president.
Or I don't even know, like, grazing the ear. I don't know. Something happened with the ear, and now he is acting like he bursted an eardrum.
We all saw this video of like it looking like something is like whizzing by by his head, and he kind of like jumps and grabs his ear.
And then the Secret Service like jump over him.
Yeah, like they come towards him and they cover him up. But he has enough time to say, wait.
And then when and then they're escorting him off while he's putting up a seemingly the black power symbol
and saying fight.
He looks like an idiot.
It just was, it's just a circus. It's
what
crazy.
Is your thoughts? Like, I know that people are saying like they think it's staged, but then all their other stuff is coming out about like the shooter and like the Secret Service and the police that were there. So like, what are your thoughts?
I mean, my thoughts are the fact that it's so possible for it to be fake is just disturbing. Like, you know, like just the possibility that we're even considering that is like, it's wild, but it's real, because it also is like, I remember I've seen like the side-by-side videos on Twitter or X or whatever, and it's like when Trump was at like a press conference, and somebody like said they had a gun, and like the Secret Service just like ran him off stage. Like, he did not have a second to think. And it's just like, how did this man, like, they really gave him a clear shot, like, for a long time.
That's what I've been seeing. Like, I like read something where like, I'll let you finish, but I just want to say like, I literally read something where they said like, there's video footage of like the police like being aware, like, oh, this is the guy with the AR-15 or whatever he had. He points it at the police, and they turn around and run down the steps, like literally, like they're scared. And then like there's also like apparently like talk about like people in his area where like saw him with a gun and were like, oh, making a commotion, and the police kind of just like didn't really like, they kind of like were aware that there was a person with a gun and kind of just allowed it to kind of unfold. But I mean, who knows? These are just people saying that. But it's just like, but keep going. I just wanted to add that.
I mean, that was really it. Like, it was just like, why would they give this amount of an opportunity of this person? Like, they just had a clear shot of this man's head. But I also feel like, I mean, who knows? I really don't know, because I'm just like, since this guy was a Republican, like, maybe he was like, okay, I'm willing to be sacrificed for this purpose of like rallying up everybody. I don't fucking know. It's just, but I do feel like I did, like, when I started to hear about like people other than like the firefighter that got shot, I was like, okay, like, this sounds like it could be real, you know, like, since somebody else had died. But yeah, it's crazy. Like, what in the world? Like, this really, it's also, last thing I'll say, it's very crazy because this does feel like it has shifted something, but because so much is going on, it's like, I can't even register that on this weekend there was an assassination attempt. Like, it is just so crazy to me.
No, I agree. I mean, I don't know. Like, it's just like,
what do you think?
I agree with you. Like, it's so crazy that like we're at the point where Trump has told so many lies and has like orchestrated, you know, so many things, including, you know, January 6th, that like we could absolutely be here really, you know, really contemplating if this was staged. I will say, if it was staged and that comes out and there's like proof, just like there was, you know, a whole hearing with January 6th, he's going to jail because people like died, you know? So it's like, you stage this whole thing for you to get hurt and other people to die. I mean, he's going to jail. Yeah. But I feel like, I also just feel like, you know, it is weird that like, you know, in a situation where like I don't know, like, do you remember the Bush video when Bush was president, where somebody threw a shoe at him?
Yes.
And within the second shoe, probably a dozen Secret Service like rushed him off stage. I think it's strange that like after a president actually getting to the point of like blood drawn, they're allowing him to like make a show of it. So I don't know, little signifiers like that make me start to wonder. And I'm not saying I think it's fake, but I'm saying it puts doubts in people's mind, because it's just like, oh, you are using this as a political moment now, and not, and your first thought is to like, let me show that I'm gonna fight rather than, oh my God, let me rush to safety. I could have gotten killed,
Right.
And
or
at that point, you don't know what's wrong.
Too.
Yeah, and at that point, you didn't know what was wrong with you. For all you know, your ear could have been fucking blown off, So I just feel like that's fucking weird to me.
It's a weird first reaction.
It is. I'm worried. This is like, I'll finish with this. Like, I am worried that like he can now use this moment as like hero moment. Like, I survived
martyrdom.
Yeah, exactly. An assassination, and this might rally people around him. And
I mean, so I do think that people in the back of the video immediately were like, yeah.
So I do think
love this shit. They love the blood drawn for for this country and blah blah blah. Like,
I do think that like Biden will have to
I don't know
do something drastic, like pay off student debt. He'll have to do something. It would Supreme be great Court,
if he did that.
Do something drastic because
do you
he
think
needs
he
a Hail
will,
Mary.
Though?
I don't know. He was talking like apparently today when I was watching MSNBC, it was like he's like thinking about Supreme Court like reform and stuff. So I'm like, it seems like he might be curious about like some Hail Marys prior to November.
Yeah, we shall see.
But it's scary now because I feel like, I don't know. I was of the opinion that it was going to be close, but Biden was ultimately going to win pre-assassination attempt. And now post-assassination attempt, I'm like, I don't know. I'm a little scared now. Yeah, it changes everything. But also, can we talk about, and maybe she deserves her own time on trial, Amber Rose talking at the Republican National Convention
Amber Rose
today.
Is absolutely on trial today.
And did you see like when she said like like today when she was doing her speech at the RNC, she was like I did my research on Trump and I'm with him, this is where I belong. And then someone, Joy Reid, read her for fucking filth last night, and then she tweeted this. She was like, I did not say I wasn't Black, Joy. I said I am biracial. I'm not gonna ignore my white dad to please you. And I'm just like, oh God, she is so disappointing.
Oh my God, beyond that. That's not even the word. It's like this lady is really confused, and it's really it's unfortunate. Like, I definitely thought you were smarter than this, and I shouldn't have.
They're using you.
I mean, beyond using you, just getting up on stage and talking about, I was the leftist rhetoric, I thought Trump was racist, and then my dad, her white father, is like, no, Amber, like, Trump's not racist, like, go do your research. And she said, and I did my research, and I'm just like, this bitch is really dizzy. Like, this girl is like, it just is so aggravating when people are just stupid. And I feel like she is almost just like, you can't control me. Like, I don't care if I'm cancelable. Like,
oh yeah, she's like Candace Owens right now.
And she's obviously getting paid. Like, this is obviously
Ooh.
This is obviously, oh, what'd you just get?
I don't know. I didn't ask, but my man bought me a drink.
A delicious drink. Ooh.
My man. Thank you, Juju.
So yeah, it's just like, this lady,
this is my thing.
She's just hypocritical, and I'm learning a lot about her, because maybe we just didn't know. Like, whatever.
This is my thing. It's like, well, it's funny because somebody tweeted like, I'll do anything for a blonde dyke and she'll do anything for the limelight. And I'm like, that's literally her. But also, like, secondly, I'm like, this is someone who got her come up by being within Black culture. Like, you dated fucking Kanye West. Like, Kanye, you were the Wiz video Khalifa. Girl. Then Wiz Khalifa. You have a Black son. Like, you have Black culture is the reason you are relevant, period.
Absolutely.
And so it's so weird to me that she would then do this weird ass like flip to like pro-Trump when it's like, you're raising Black sons. And let's be clear, your baby daddy who you say you love and all this other shit loves fucking drugs. Like, this man is a Black man who could, in any other place, Trump would be advocating for him to be behind bars for 20 to 30 years, as much fucking drugs as he does, and just how he is. And so it's just like, It's so
And
irresponsible to me. And you have a black son. It's so irresponsible to me. And I'm just like, money won't, and affiliation won't do shit for you. Literally.
Nothing.
I mean, people always said if fucking, the January 6 people didn't know who fucking Tim Scott was, he would have been hung with the fucking Mike Pence when they were like screaming, hang Mike Pence, because they're racist as fuck. They don't care about affiliation. Absolutely. And so it's just so weird to me that she's doing this. Yeah, where's it coming from?
Yeah, where is this research, girl? What is this research that you're doing? Maybe you should post a couple links that you're like, do your research. I did mine.
We don't want her. We don't want her links because she will ultimately persuade or influence somebody with misinformation because she has a platform. But also, I'm just like, maybe she's just doing this for relevancy. Like, I feel like you get your moment because it's so far, to the right.
It's definitely. I mean, she is. Hold on, I'm definitely gonna. Hopefully, he won't squeak it too much.
And it's okay if he does.
But yeah, like, it just really is infuriating, and
it is.
But I'm trying to like not let it get under my skin, but it just does. Like, I'm just like, you are so dumb. You look so dumb.
You look so dumb right now, and it's just like you have lost all respect from your community. And it's sad because it's just like when they ultimately are done using you, they're going to throw you away. And who are you going to try to run to? Exactly. The same people you're denigrating right now.
And that's what I'm wondering too. I'm just like, that's what I'm like, where do you think this is going to go? Like, no, but we are not welcoming you back at the BET Awards,
what do you think,
honey.
though, is like up with these like black celebrities like going to Trump? Like, literally 50 Cent had a concert this past weekend when Trump got assassinated, and he rapped some song in honor of Trump, like dedicated to Trump, and it was about like getting shot because 50 Cent's been shot a bunch and survived. And like, so it's like now we have like 50 Cent, we have Sexy Red, we have Amber Rose, Waka Flocka. Like, we have like a number of black celebrities who are like pro Trump. Like, what do you think this is all about? Like, I don't understand.
Confusion, self-hate. Like, literally, just I think
it's just relevancy. I honestly think none of them believe any of this or care, but they just want relevancy.
I think some, like, the ones that are saying stuff and they don't have to, like, I mean, I haven't looked at Waka Flocka's like socials recently, but I'm just like, it sounds like he's just saying this at his concert, and I feel like he probably does believe, like, there are ignorant black people that, like, I have heard it, like, people saying like, oh, well, he is telling the truth. Like, at least he's telling the truth. Like, that is not far-fetched for like just.
But what do they believe he's telling the truth about? Like, what topics? Like, when it comes to what?
They don't know, Alexis. They're not watching. They're not paying attention like you are or something. They're probably, maybe they're talking about like COVID, which is not true. Like, do we have amnesia about this man when COVID happened? Like, it was a joke. He was giving people, trying to put Lysol in people's arms. Like,
and when he came down with COVID, when I tell you he looked one cough away from a coffin, like, he looked terrible.
Right.
He was fake. Dying.
It was and it was just like the thing, like, she's saying like he's not racist. He talked about that being a Chinese disease or whatever.
And that's what I'm saying. And every black person, I want to ask, like, okay, you don't believe he's racist. So what do you have to say for when the Central Park Five were teenagers, so minors, they were children, and he put a front page ad in the New York Times or the New Yorker, one of those, for their death. You know what I'm saying? Like, literally calling for the death of the Central Park Five, who are now exonerated, the exonerated five, because they didn't do it and there was evidence to show they didn't. Like, I would just say, like, if that is not racist to you, when they literally just picked the black people that were at the Central Park that day and literally charged these teenagers as adults and tried to ruin their life. He called for their death and literally took out money for an ad in the most popular newspaper in New York City. What do you call that? I would love to hear the answer, because to me,
I don't know what it's about.
I would love for them to answer that. Like, I would love for them.
Black people have had an affinity for Trump for so long. Like, I'm just like, what
and I refuse to believe. And honestly, that's maybe something we should think about, because I'm like, Trump has had, like,
it's almost like he reminds
Trump has
them
always been bad. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
or something.
In the 90s, he was getting filed out the ass, getting lawsuits out the ass for like discriminating against people of color in Trump Towers. I mean, literally so many things is wrong with this man that it's just like, it's interesting, because I feel like, you know, we hear it in rap, like, you know, I think about Nicki Minaj. I told him, meet me at the Trump Ivanka, like in that song with Beyonce. Yes. And it's like Jay-Z is talking about it, and it's just like, Trump has always had a bad reputation. Trump so it's checks. Interesting. Right, exactly. Okay. So it's interesting that we were willing to ignore it and accept it, like people just glorifying him until now, because he's always been a bad person.
I know, but people back then weren't doing deep dives on people, so it was so much easier for people to just go along with go along with just the top of the media, which is
superficial.
Him showing up on Fresh Prince. I think he might have been on Martin, like in Home Alone. Like, you know, he was popping up places. He was on Wendy Williams. Like, I just saw a clip of him on Wendy Williams recently. So it's just like, and the thing about it is like, and maybe this goes back to welcoming people to the cookout, because we really have open arms for these people, because because they have money, because they have a certain attitude or je ne sais quoi about them that you're like, oh yeah, Trump's cool, like, no, Trump's cool, he can come on Fresh Prince and blah blah blah, like, you know. And I wonder who we have to be more critical thinking, because imagine if we didn't do that. You know, like, imagine.
I just fear that it won't happen, because at the end of the day, I think about the BET Awards when Sexy Red did her thing and everybody was out of their seat tolerant, but then when Taraji talked about voting, you could hear crickets. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's hard for me to think that, like, will this ever get, you know, will people ever evolve and think critically? Because I'm like, literally, Sexy Red was getting red for filth on Twitter one day, and then the next day she performs a song that y'all like to twerk to, and all of a sudden now she's fine. Like,
yeah, it is. I mean, I think as a people, we maybe need to break down just how we give these people platforms, because engagement, talking about it, like good press and bad press, you know what they say, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, as long as they're talking, I'm getting paid. And at the end of the day, that is what, you know, like, fuck it, you could think whatever, at least I'm getting the bag, you know. I really think that is how people, I think that is how
the curse of the bag
is, you know. And so I just feel like we as a people that do care about this stuff and don't want to platform people like that, we have to have some type of like self-control or like contained way of, but again, that takes organization, and that is one thing that I think we'll be talking about this next week, that Dr. Umar says that Black people struggle with, is organizing ourselves.
I think the new generation does. I mean, not new generation, I'm sorry, our generation and younger, I do, because it may
and one older too.
Well, I don't know. I just think about like, I don't know. Like, I always go back
right now.
Okay, yeah, in the 40s, yeah, that's fine. But I feel like, okay, maybe so millennials, so I'll say millennials older, but it's just like, I don't know. I think about, there was a time where I feel like, and I feel like I've talked to you about this on the phone before, like, where our community has had like incredible grit. And I'm not talking slavery or enslavement or anything like that. I'm talking like, I don't know, I always go back to like the bus boycott. Literally for a year, these people were carpooling and not using the bus in Alabama heat. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's like, we've had incredible grit in organizing. Still gives civil rights, like when our parents were babies. Like, I kind of feel like maybe even just then, like when I feel like maybe our parents, to be honest, like I don't like maybe their generation, you know, like it was like we got in the picket fence. It was like I feel like we kind of went to sleep around like when they were, because it was like, okay, it's all good, you know, we can be in DC. Like, you know, it was like it was just a weird kind of integration of like you're still black, but you can
there's this mecca where you can be suburban black and
yes,
successful and a
exactly.
doctor, and it's the
Yes.
chocolate city.
Yeah. And just even more widespread. Like I feel like that is too probably when media's changed a lot. Like, you know, like when it was like there was a lot more just commentary, and I feel like the late night. I don't know. It just seems like that was when things settled. Like right before then it was like, okay, we're just getting TV.
I mean, no, I think
And
you're right. Like there needs to be organizing, but I think that like there also needs to be like, along with organizing, like a reality check, because I think there are some people who just think
we're
that
gonna
we're
get
being
it.
too serious. Like I feel like
Oh yeah,
I'm
people
not going
think
to say
we're
too
being
much, but I feel like in general I have met people in my life or have people in my life who like think that kind of shit is too much. Like, you know, like they're like, that's
I know.
too
I
much, you're
mean,
doing too much, stop, you know. And it's just
yes.
like they think we're being dramatic, but it's just like they're like, why can't we, you know, it's just a song, it's just you know, whatever. But it's just like, no, like that shit means something. Like for somebody who is black to be literally championing outwardly and proudly a white person who has literally called for the death of innocent black young men, it's sick, you know what I'm saying? Like
It is
there
sick.
should be a reality check that should be serious enough for you to be like, wake
But
up.
that
But I feel
should
like
just
people think
show
we're being too
us
fucking dramatic.
that should just show us where like um just where people are, like black people again,
But I
like
feel
I
like you
just
should be excommunicated for that.
but
Like it should
that's
be
what
like,
I'm
then get out the
saying.
community.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like we don't even have that type of loyalty. And I've brought this up about like, and then again, we're gonna get into this next week. Like with Dr. Umar. We got a real
Boy, Dr.
special
Umar, you about to be on trial next week, honey.
we got a lot of we got a lot to talk about. It's gonna be a real special episode.
It's our 20th. But keep
But
going.
but yeah, like we like he was saying that like Italian mobs and stuff like that, they had like a thing where it was like no women, children, or whatever. It's like we don't have no law. We don't
We're
have
lawless.
yeah, we don't have any type of boundaries. Like babies, women, it's just like it doesn't matter. Jupiter's blowing me. He doesn't like that I'm sitting in this new spot and like have my back turned to him. Anyways, but yeah, it's just like because we don't have that, we're so confused. Like we don't know where to turn to. I feel like people are looking for a savior. Like maybe like somehow in their mind, like the democratic stuff isn't working. So they're just like, fuck it. Like, let's just see how this goes. This guy's gonna change. He is going to change things dramatically, but not in a way that like, what don't you get? Like he
You're
made it
sick.
so it's like you're sick, and they really are. It's
this is a man who said grab a woman by the pussy, and you're literally a woman up there. Probably like honestly, you literally were advocating for like sexual freedom and not being like
that was
harassed and everything else with your
I
whole
can
fucking
wear
pussy
anything
walk.
I want,
Right, and not be harassed, and you're literally like platforming and championing someone who said grab women by the pussy. Like that's why I'm just saying like there should be a line where we say, okay, now we don't fuck with you. You're no longer a part of like welcome to the cookout. You're no longer with the black community, and you actually will never get let back in. Because I do feel like certain damage is so harmful, it can't be undone. And so I feel like that's my problem. Like I feel like we don't have like sometimes rules where it's like, and you no longer can come back in, you know. It's like, okay, eventually we're like fine. Even Candace Owens, like she was on fucking Joe Budden's thing in the Breakfast Club. Like I feel like there should have been like boundaries where it's like you can't come into this fucking black sacred space, you know, because you have done so much to tear it down. You know, this is a safe space, and she kind of breached it, you know. I just feel like we always, I don't know, I feel like sometimes just I just want more.
Yes. I mean, but it's like, it just makes me think about like, okay, Amber Rose is an interesting experiment. I'm so curious to see what happens after this. Like, what happens with Amber Rose? I'm gonna need everybody to go unfollow her too, because I see a lot of people still follow her.
I don't even think I've ever followed her.
I definitely have. But yeah, like Amber Rose will be interesting to see what happens. But people like Sexy Red. Okay, who is listening to Sexy Red? Because if I tell friends, like, people, my peers, it's like I might hear it at the club. I'm not playing it in my car. So it's like, who is playing it? It's like,
girl, people playing
kids. It. I just feel like it's these kids.
Even regardless, it's just like,
so it's how do we get the kids to care? Because I feel like the kids really don't care. Like,
but that's the thing. I feel like the youth are even more critical than we were. Like, I truly think like Gen Z are like even more critical than we are. It's just that there's a certain subsect that is like, what you're talking about is a certain subset that doesn't care about. It's funny because I feel like I see it more in adults, like than the kids. I feel like than the children.
I feel like it is kids that are at a certain economic place where it's like they are not listening to this, like, capitalism this, capitalism that. Like, they're, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not on TikTok watching, like, I don't know, the breakdown or whatever. They don't give a fuck about that. They're like, it's honestly just survival.
I don't know, man.
Like,
it's just very disappointing.
I feel like just living, especially in DC, most of the crimes that are committed are teenagers, like kids, like 13-year-olds with guns. And yeah, so I'm just like, I feel like these kids are acting like adults and they're playing the music. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like the woke, not woke, because whatever. I mean, woke was our word, so I don't.
But now it's co-opted. You can't say it. So I'm joking.
That's so whack. I'm not letting people take that word from us, but it's like,
I get what you're saying though.
The what is it? What would you call a teen that's on TikTok talking about that?
A very like critically conscious person. Okay, a person who is very aware.
Person. I don't socially know if they're listening to Sexy Red. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, who is listening to Sexy Red? How do we target them?
So maybe that's what our call is. If you're listening to Sexy Red, please comment on this post or email us, because we want to know why you're still listening to her. And it's no judgment. We absolutely just are curious. You can keep it anonymous. Like, why are you listening to her? What is it about her music that you like? We should, just for the sake of time, move on to your Reddit thing, because I think it's hilarious.
I was actually going to say, I think this is a good time to move on, because you were saying, you kind of mentioned, like, just people being able to be critical of celebrities and people being like, it's not that serious.
Well, we love,
blah,
right?
Blah,
yeah,
blah.
Yeah.
And so it's just like.
So wait, so Samantha has a funny story. She was on the phone with me and told me about this, and I was like, you have to share this on the podcast.
So for those who don't know, I am a Redditor. I don't know if that's what they call us, but like, Reddit is. Those who know, like those who use it. And it is actually really dope. Like, there's a bunch of threads for literally anything you can think of. And people are just like talking about stuff, like TV shows and whatever. Literally, like, I'm in a Boston Terrier one, and I like post pictures of Jupiter in there. So I'm, of course, into the Beyonce one. And so, yeah, I like to keep my ears to the streets to see what people are talking about Beyonce. And somebody posted, traumatize your fandom with 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 image. And so people were like posting just these like, 1 moments in Beyonce's career. Like the one that they posted was the one at her Super Bowl where she was like not in the frame.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That like pissed me off. I remember when I saw that.
So there's just like a lot of examples in here, like the to be continued for the Lady Gaga, and like we never got that, the visual stuff like that, whatever. So of course somebody put the album, the limited edition album that we have talked about. So I was just like, I have to say something because this is on my chest and I just do not care. Like I know that this is this is Beehive territory and I need to make my voice heard. So I feel like I said everything that was on my heart. So I'm going to read that here now. So
go ahead and read it, girl.
See. People said, I mean, she literally told you it was limited, quote unquote. Obviously, she was referring to the track list. I'm like, shit. And so,
that was slick.
Yeah. So then, okay. So this is what I say. This pisses me off so bad. Like, what the fuck did I buy? Question mark. Exclamation mark. And mind you, y'all, this was like 1 a.m, just me, just going for it. So I said, I felt like this was the first really obvious FU to the blind loyalty of her fans. I bought this album before I even heard it and was obviously expecting the complete body of work that I hear on Apple Music, etc. Why not just wait to release the official vinyl with all the songs? We would have just enjoyed the music digitally until the vinyl was available. It's been the one time I've felt hoodwinked as a fan of hers, and it really makes me look at her and the whole operation differently. She could have at least addressed it somehow, her or Miss Yvette or somebody, because this is crazy. Her last post signing the quote-unquote official copies just adds insult to injury. I am a day one stan, Destiny's Child days, at the Beyonce experience up to the Renaissance show in Paris. So yes, it's that serious. Beyonce has built a brand on setting a high standard for giving her fans a quality product / performance out of the respect for the effort it takes for her fans to support her. That is why I didn't hesitate to purchase my album when the pre-release announcement came out. But I won't be doing that again. I will be waiting. I will be waiting to make sure it's the quote unquote official release. It just really sucks to support an artist and then be reminded of the capitalism of it all. Is it about the art and your human fans that are struggling in this economic climate, or about becoming a billionaire, quote unquote, just to have the stamp with the other billionaire girlies? I know we joke a lot online about Beyonce always in our pockets and people not having the coins, but it's not a game for a lot of people. And if I'm giving my limited hard-earned money for an album, and we're talking damn near $100 with shipping for a vinyl, I'm expecting the official motherfucking album.
Come on now.
Period. And then I said, and don't get me started on the moves her husband. I put HUZZZ.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Has been making the Philly schools donation, quote unquote, shit, aligning with a partner with a problematic partnering with a problematic Republican billionaire, Jeff Yaz, and then performing in the background for Tom Brady's honorary, whatever that was, shucking and jiving. But as long as he's getting that check, he doesn't care. He don't care. I'm sorry, but these past moves this year in particular is too much, and it really has me looking at everything real different. Has me really knowing, quote, they not like us. Lastly, it makes me sad. Beyonce is my favorite artist, so it sucks that my connection to the art and fandom is being somewhat tainted. Woo, I had to get that off my chest. Signed, a disappointed Beehiver. And so
you spoke your truth.
I did. I had to. So of course it's getting a lot of up votes or whatever. But one person, Be Forever on Reddit, They said, if you think Beyonce is a capitalist, then why are you still a fan? I don't understand people who claim they hate capitalists but then support them. Beyonce is not forcing you to buy her things. And so I was actually impressed by, like, you know, people weren't, this was the only person that like said something like, I was expecting more just because it's like going up against Beyonce. Not going up against, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, bye, just explain my thought process. And people were upvoting it. And then somebody put, we're allowed to criticize capitalism on this sub, and I love that for us.
Yay!
And then B Forever said, the Beehive is too sensitive. I hope she performs in Dubai again to piss you off. And I said, that didn't piss me off, honey. Go touch grass, boo. And she said, I'm in my Stan era. I can't help myself, LOL. So I was like, okay, girl. And like people were downloading that too. But somebody else said, I'm mad. I'm still mad I own this. I'm debating selling it and getting the full version, but I'll still be out some money. Then somebody said, period, boo. So yes, I had like, that has been seriously grinding my gears. And especially, you know, that she posted the pictures of like at the record store, like signing them. I'm proud of you.
I mean,
it's just like one of those places that you can just go crazy.
I just don't understand fucking people. Like, two things can happen at once. And I feel like I've had like conversations like this where I'm like, you don't understand this. It's shocking. Like, you can love something and critique it. I can hate capitalism and still buy a fucking sandwich from McDonald's because I like their burgers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just makes no fucking sense. We also live in a capitalist society. You can't, like, to live and survive here, you have to play into it. Yes. So it's just like,
there is one person on TikTok.
It's just so stupid when people are just like, all y'all want to talk about you hate capitalists, but then buy her. She didn't force y'all to buy her shit. It's like, who said she did? Like, y'all are making so many fucking jumps.
Exactly.
Like,
I'm just like, and that's why I said I explained my thought process. I'm like, I have been a fan of this person since a child, and this has been the first time that it's been like a real like fuck you, basically. It was just like, you know, it's just like, okay, well, you can have that little album, and that's like what frustrates me, because I feel like she assumed that we love her so much that we're just gonna be happy to have like a rough draft copy. Right. It's just like, no, girl, we don't got time for
I also think that like the album was ready and possibly not the full official booklet or whatever, but she was like, I can't release the album without a vinyl, like, you know, and it's just like, bitch, you could have.
This is not just the 1960s, okay? Like, we all have a digital way to listen to
wait, but what is your thoughts about, so like over the weekend, there's been a lot of like rumors that like she's in talks with MGM in Vegas to have a residency. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't have many thoughts, Alexis. Like,
your tickets to Vegas will be booked, your hotel will be booked, and the cowboy hat will be on.
That is Alexis's story. Mm-hmm. I'm really tired right now. Like, Samantha. Beyonce, if Beyonce puts tickets on sale tomorrow, I cannot buy them, and I will not be buying them. I will be, and the crazy part is, it's like, I know that I'll be able to get tickets. Like, the ticket, like, I could have gone to the DC show the night of if I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Because there was tickets that were on sale. Like,
like you would have bought them, you're saying. Okay. Yeah, I thought you meant like you got connections. And I'm like, girl, what?
No, I wouldn't be saying that on the podcast. But yeah, like, you know, so I'm not rushing. I cannot. This girl obviously don't care about my finances, so I need to be. So
you're saying right now you wouldn't be going to Cowboy Carter's concert?
What I'm saying is that I'm not saying that. Obviously, I want to go. I hope that
you're going to be there in your Levi jeans.
I hope that I come back around. Shut up. I hope that I, like, you know, have that warm, fuzzy feeling. But right now, I'm like, I'm not really, like, if she put it's not that I'm just not like anticipating anything. Like I'm just like, whatever, girl. Like that's how I feel right now. I'm not like, oh, when she's gonna put the tickets out, when she's gonna do this.
Yeah, I'm not like that either. I was like that with Renaissance, but I'm not like that right now.
I was like that before, like, you know, before this shit.
Prior
honestly.
to the official final.
Yes. Absolutely. Like
this is my thing.
That's how I feel.
Right? I'm excited for it. I'm like unhappy that like I'm gonna have to hear her sing about her fucking husband when she sings Levi jeans. No, I don't want to hear Diva. Diva needs to be off the set list. Like we heard it, we're done with it. This needs to be the time where she brings back like songs we haven't heard. It's like this is a different type of vibe. Nobody wants to hear.
Beyonce's gonna have to make. Beyonce's gonna have to really make. She's really gonna have to make something up for me.
What you mean make something up? Like, what does that mean?
I gotta see some
dancing visuals. This time. We need to see some dancing.
No, I'm talking about before the show.
You ain't getting visuals before the show.
I need something right now. I feel so just like. I don't know. I went to be on
I do feel like she needs to feed us a little bit more. Like it would be great to have visuals, but at this point, I do think we're getting the visuals at the end of Act 3, and I think it will be on Beyonce's new streaming platform,
except for merch. She's gonna keep on selling.
Yeah, she'll do merch, and then I guarantee you, she will have the visuals out, and it will be on her new.
Well, that'll be great.
Streaming platform, right so you have to pay for that.
That'll be great, but I am salty about this. I'm
salty about it too, and I guess I'm just trying to like check my expectations because like it's like, yeah, people show you who they are. You're showing me who you are, and I need to like understand that. So it's just like, yeah, what I'm expecting now is more merch drops, probably Amazon partnerships with the merch like she did before, and eventually we'll get like a tour. I just hope it. I just really, really just care about the set list. Like I really don't want to hear the same songs we have been hearing since fucking, you know, the
I can't even get
Beyonce
to the
World
set
Tour
list right now. My mind can't even get there right now because I'm just like, girl, what are you gonna do to like? For me, because it's just my experience right now.
You're not
like the world's obviously gonna like, you know, whatever. I'm just like, what's going to be for me to like get over this? Because
I don't think you will.
The reason that, and like, obviously people show you who they are, whatever. But it's like the brand for me was like, okay, at least if I'm paying for this shit, at least if I'm paying for
it was
show,
quality, right?
For an album, I was getting my money's worth. Mm-hmm. And this was just like, this was the first time that it was like, well, what? Like, I haven't ordered Ivy Park and got like the wrong sizes like other people have.
Like, people doing that? That's hilarious.
Yes, people have had complaints. Sad. People have had complaints about like not getting stuff, whatever. I haven't had that. This was that, and I can't imagine that she like. I know that she knows. She keeps her ear to the street. She's just trying to.
She don't give a damn. She's making her money.
She's just trying to get it to go away. But
and at the end of the day, whatever. You have people on the thread who are saying, "I guess I'll have to just sell my other one and get the new one." It's like at the end of the day, she literally said in the thing, "Beehive, they got me." At the end of the day, she knows that the Beehive will buy the thing. Yeah, like it doesn't matter.
But it strikes me because I thought that you were somebody that cared a lot about the final product.
Yeah.
Right? Like, right? That's like that's how I feel. And now it's just like, I can't even look at my album with like, you know.
We should think about wrapping it up because I have to use the bathroom and it's almost an hour.
Okay. I'm ready to wrap things up, child. I'm just talking about Beyonce.
You're so funny. Okay, well, any last thoughts, Samika?
The last thing that has been on my mind is that it is hot as hell outside. And I remember I was telling Alexis, I'm just like, I mean, obviously climate change is very real, but it's like, we can't even, I don't want to sound negative. I was about to say, like, enjoy the summer like we used to, because I can't go outside without wanting to run back inside immediately. But anyways.
No, that's real. That's real. I feel the same way. That's on my mind. Just being hot as fuck and feeling like you can't escape it. It sucks, but hopefully fall will be better this year. But it's just sad.
And then for me, it's just like fall makes me sad. But anyways, let's end on a positive note. This week is going to be great. We're at the middle of July, and next week we will have our 20th episode with a very special guest.
Stay tuned for a special guest, and send us your topics if you want us to talk about anything for our 20th at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com.
She gotta pee, y'all. She about to
I gotta pee. All right, I'll talk to you later, friend.
See you later.
Bye bye.
Thank you so much for listening. Remember to email us your discussion topics at whoamitojudgepod@gmail.com. Also, remember to subscribe to Who Am I to Judge podcast on Spotify and everywhere you get your podcast. If you love us, please rate us and review. And if you don't, leave us alone. Tell a friend to tell a friend. See y'all next week. Bye, friends.